Breakfast. Good morning, and welcome to Tea Time. This week, T stands for thoughts. I think people, including myself, often don't realize how much thoughts have impact on our lives. And some people who are aware of this don't know how to stop, don't know how to control it. Don't know how to, I don't know what the word would, how would you explain that? I don't know. This is weird for me because I don't usually talk about this much, so I don't really know how to explain it to somebody. I've never explained it before, at least not in a very coherent way. I'm unsure as to where my anxiety originally stemmed from, but it's always been there. I've spent the larger part of my life controlled by my own thoughts. Surface level analyzing that statement is like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I need to stop messing with the camera. Every event, every situation I was in, I would overanalyze every single decision that I had made or somebody else, and I ended up just becoming a slave to my own brain. It was the never-ending playback of these events that just crippled me. Oftentimes, instead of going to social situations or events, I would just avoid them altogether because of this. I ended up hiding myself from people and hiding my true self from my own self, which is a confusing statement, but it's true. I always knew how I should have acted in past situations or even during current situations. After all, I spent hours and hours analyzing them. I always knew how I should have acted in past events, or even a lot of the time I caught myself in a certain situation where anxiety has almost brought me into an out-of-body experience, where in the moment I know I should be saying this or I should be doing this. That's the thing you should be doing. But that anxiety, that fear, that was what was controlling my body. Now don't get confused, I'm not using that as a way to blame and excuse my decisions. And as a matter of fact, I only blame myself. My anxiety had amplified every little uncomfortable thing that I had encountered. But instead of toughing it out of these situations, I often ran from them. In hindsight, probably the worst decision ever, because you're essentially reinforcing bad behavior, reinforcing this bad habit. Your mind and your body is basically believing that there's some sort of danger, something to be afraid of, and you running away from the situation is validating that behavior. That turns into a never-ending cycle, just self-fulfilling prophecy. It was so bad though, I had it in all aspects of my life. Like I had it in school, work, friends, family. It was everywhere. Got to the point where I was at the bottom of this like mental pit that I had dug for myself, and I didn't know how to get out. But you're forced, when you had nowhere else to go, to analyze once again. But this time, instead of specific events, I had to analyze why exactly I was at the bottom. Why was I backed into this corner? How did I do this to myself? And then fundamentally I started to see the bigger picture. I wasn't proud of who I was as a person, and I think a lot of that came from the disassociation of who I was versus who I imagined myself to be. Very different people. And this basically kept me from sharing who I was with people. I seldom told my friends and family like my passions or what I was interested in because of that fear. Essentially, they knew only like a small sliver of who I was and my personality. We are habitual creatures as humans. So when you have created a habit, a routine of overthinking everything, it's very hard to change that mindset once you're stuck that deep into it, once you're so used to doing that. I still struggle to this day. However, I found that filling up your day with things that fulfill you or things that you enjoy will not only distract you from thinking, but it'll help you slowly dig a little bit further out of that pit you dug for yourself. I think a lot of the time anxiety like that is caused or amplified by that disassociation. That image of yourself, who you want to be, is different from who you are. And honestly, I think the antidote to that is to, whenever you have an idea, instead of shutting it down, because that's what people with anxiety do, say that idea is not good enough, it's just gonna fail. You overanalyze it. Like every single negative facet of that idea is what you identify that idea as, and that's not necessarily always true. You never end up doing this thing that you could have easily have loved. It could have been something that you end up doing the rest of your life. You never know. If you have an idea, start small, because obviously you're not going to want to go do some crazy grand idea right away. Like, I don't recommend going on public speaking right away. I still struggle with that myself. But you got to start building up the habit of trusting yourself again. So if you have the urge to film a YouTube video, do it. You don't even have to upload it. Just the act of trying it is what you need to do. And I think that's really important for identity stuff as well. How do you even know who you are if you aren't willing to explore these different ideas that you have? They're your ideas. Why don't you trust yourself? The point is, you're never going to be happy with yourself unless you trust yourself. This is terrible. This is derailing terribly. Like, I have no idea what I'm saying. I'm too tired. Honestly, maybe fear would have been a better title for this video, but fear doesn't start with a T. And also, to be completely honest, I think it was the overthinking and those malicious thoughts that really gave me that fear in the first place. Overcoming fears is difficult, but why are you afraid of yourself? Why are you afraid of your own thoughts? You have to think of yourself as your own best friend. You gotta look out for yourself. Ask yourself, is this making me unhappy? What could I be doing right now that would make me a better person? And slowly, you will start to get closer to that image you had of yourself. I'm sorry if that was too deep for this early in the morning. I struggled filming this video, not just because this is my first real vlog, but because it's pretty early to talk about something so serious. I'm not used to this. I'm not a morning person. Hopefully this video wasn't a complete mess because of it. The format to these videos could change in the future, and honestly probably will. This was just an idea I had, and to be honest, most of them probably won't be this serious of topics or this deep. But I wanted to give some sort of insight, some sort of backstory as to who I was. Alright, I've been talking for way too long. Hopefully I didn't forget to put anything in. But thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have an amazing day. Leave a comment below about what you are thankful for. I'll see you guys next week. Keep it real.